church this weekend or check us out on the web at clarionherald.org.
Hey, I'm Keith Spira from NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune. My guest this week on Let's Talk with Keith Spira is the one and only Cyril Neville. Cyril, thank you for being here. I noticed you did not wear the open shirt with the crop tie in it that you used to wear back in the day today.
No, that ended after our first trip to San Francisco.
Okay, well, maybe we'll save that story for later. Tune in this week on Let's Talk with me and Cyril Neville.
You're watching WLAE, New Orleans Public Television.
Crescent City Steakhouse, a true neighborhood restaurant operated by the Vojkovic family since 1934, is the oldest steakhouse in the city of New Orleans. Serving only hand-cut, prime-aged, corn-fed beef for over 80 years, Crescent City Steakhouse has become a dining destination for both die-hard locals and adventurous travelers who seek traditional, timeless New Orleans cuisine. Crescent City Steakhouse, 1001 North Broad, on the corner of St. Philip, in the heart of New Orleans.
Max Durbus Realtors has been providing commercial and industrial real estate services to its clients for nearly 100 years. Since 1934, Max Durbus has been locally owned and operated throughout the greater New Orleans area, including the North Shore, Hammond, and even the Mississippi Gulf Coast and beyond. We focus on your commercial real estate needs so you don't have to. More information is available at 504-733-4555.
The owners of the Delachaise Wine Bar on St. Charles Avenue have opened up their newest creation uptown on Maple Street called Chez Delachaise, a new local wine bistro featuring a larger menu of small and large plates, a brighter atmosphere, and full table service. Additionally, patrons can enjoy a large patio out front as well as an extensive wine list offering selections from around the world. It's Chez Delachaise, 7708 Maple Street between Carrollton and Broadway.
Good evening and welcome to Primetime Sports. I'm excited about this right now. My name is Scott Alexander and this is a great weekend. It could be the greatest weekend in New Orleans because you have the Jazz Fest. This has been going on for over 50 years. I cannot wait. That's coming up for the next 2 weekends. You have the Zurich Classic, which has become one of the most fun tournaments in the country. That's right. They have the doubles, as you know. They play with partners, and it's become fantastic. That's all weekend. You have the NBA playoffs, which the Pelicans are a part of. I cannot wait. They play tough in the first game. We'll get to that in a second. And you have the NFL draft, and that is going to be talked about in the Open as well because we have lots of guys from around this area that are going to be drafted. But let's start where we're starting means to count because that's the LSU has now won their 52nd national title and the first in gymnastics. Congratulations to Jay Clark and this team because they went to the Final Four last year. A little bit of a surprise. You see Jay right there with the old LSU coach for 40 years. That's Dede Bro. But man, Haley Bryant right there was amazing. The #1 gymnast in the country this year. Fantastic. And then all the others that did so well. That team is loaded. But hey, Libby Dunn, she's the one that's the most well known because of her Instagram, but she went viral. She had a shot right there. That thing went nuts. And she's holding the trophy for the national championship. Congratulations, lady gymnast. Hey, going forward. How about the Pelicans, man? They're an 8.5-point underdog. No one was giving them a chance in game one because Zion Williamson was not playing with the injury, with the hamstring. Well, they fought hard, and they showed grit. They led for most of the first half, and they were down a little bit in the second half. They got down by 10, and they went on a run, and they took the lead, and this game went back and forth. In the end, they had so many chances to win, but they didn't get it done. But I'm going to tell you what, that should give them hope. That guy, Trey Murphy, right there, if he can come through the rest of the way, this team has a real shot to win this series, a 1 versus 8. don't look at it like that. This 1 and this 8 are both really good teams. This playoff is going to be one of the best ever because all the teams in the West are pretty equal. The East is a little different. They got Boston. But how about the game is tomorrow night, game 2 in Oklahoma City, and they come back here for the weekend games. Hey, by the way, last night was one of the greatest in NBA basketball history for a double duo on TNT. 2 great games back-to-back. Let's go with the one that ended it. The Lakers, they were up by 20 in the third, but the champions right there, Nikola Jokic, they're champions for a reason. They came back, never had the lead until the very end when Jamal Murray hit that shot over Anthony Davis to win the game. It was spectacular, that comeback, and Murray has become a stud. And also the game before that, very good as well. You had the Knicks and Sixers. This was back and forth a good bit. Looked like the Sixers were going to win. The Knicks hit 2 3-pointers in the last few seconds, including that one by Dante DiVincenzo, the former Villanova player. He nailed it, and they won that. So both those series are 2-0. By the way, the home teams are 11-0 so far in the playoffs. And also, hopefully, that will change tomorrow night when the Pelicans play the Oklahoma City Thunder. And also, how about this? 2 guys from New Orleans were in that last series. Louis Oubre from New Orleans is playing in that Sixers series. And also, you have Mitchell Robinson, who plays for the Knicks right there. He's guarding Joel Embiid. That's interesting. You got those guys in that series. By the way, LeBron was amazing. AD was amazing, but the guys that made it happen were the Nuggets at the end. Also, moving forward, the NFL draft, like I said before, we have LSU. The Saints have the 1st and 2nd round pick, a bunch of 5th rounders and a 6th and a 7th, but guys from Tulane, we have one of them today. Jha'Quan Jackson will be here, the wide receiver. Michael Pratt, Neighbors, and of course Jaden Daniels and Brian Thomas Jr. All those guys will be drafted. And college baseball, LSU finally won a series there. Right there, LSU won their first baseball series. Tulane and UNO also won the NOLA Gold play this Saturday. That's going to be right there in the gold mine on Airline. Go see them. They play the Carolina team, Carolina Rugby. We'll see this. It's going to be a great show. We have James Martin, the greatest saxophone player in the city of New Orleans. Also, Jha'Quan Jackson. And don't forget, it's going to be fabulous because we also have Kelly Gibson coming up next, a former PGA golfer, right here on Primetime Sports.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
Hey, welcome back to Primetime Sports. And like I said in the open, this is the greatest weekend of the year in the Crescent City. We got the NFL draft, the Saints, and a lot of LSU players are going to go high. Obviously, some Tulane guys as well. You got the Jazz Fest. I mean, does it get any better than that this weekend and next? And you also have, the Pelicans in the playoffs. And then we got the Zurich Classic, which to me has become one of the premier events here in the city of New Orleans. And many of the players that play on the PGA Tour, they say it's the most fun event that they go to. So we got a guy that was here last year, a guy from New Orleans. He was a state champion in high school, an All-American in college, although it was Lamar. And also, he played on the PGA Tour. And you might remember him a couple of those weekends in 96 and 97 in the U.S. Open. Yeah, after 27 holes in 96, he was second. That's right, a day and a half. That's good stuff. And he was also in the running in the top 10 in 97 over the weekend. So here we go. Kelly Gibson, welcome back to Primetime Sports.
Thanks for having me, Scott.
And
Appreciate it.
thanks for being the representative for the Zurich Classic.
Well, it's fun to be here. It's a great week. It's always a fantastic week for New Orleans. You got so many different things going on in the city, and to have the PGA Tour players in town, it's a special week sporting-wise.
I'm going to say this. We had Steve Worthy on many years in a row, and he gets so, spread out. He's got so many events. I said, I'm going to give him a couple-year break. We're going to give Kelly a tryout here, and it's going well. So maybe one day we'll talk on a podcast or something. Who knows that?
No, I'd love to do that.
Let me take you back, though, to 96, 97. I know you felt really good, right? Strong, virile.
Yeah.
In the first couple days. I mean, I hate to say this, but, a little impotent after that in the weekend. What happened to you?
Strong words to express how I felt.
I'm just saying,
it's a situation where the U.S. Open, it's the max pressure you could feel on the PGA Tour, and I was in contention. Unfortunately, the tournaments are four days long, and I tried some shots I probably shouldn't have tried, but at the end, it was a great experience. And
like 10 Cup? Like you just went for it?
It wasn't quite 10 Cup.
Or like the French guy in the whatever tournament that was that just went for it and he just hit the water?
There was a 9th hole at Congressional, and nobody had reached the green in 2 all week. and I saw that clip early in the day, and I had a chance to get on too, and I tried to hit a driver off the deck that went about 30 yards. So it wasn't a good attempt, and I wound up hitting a 3-iron on the green for my third shot, and then 3-putted. So it just didn't work out.
Did it hit the rough? I mean, that ball. I mean,
no, it was just a fat driver right off the deck. Yeah, no, it did not hunt. But it went about 30 yards, and then I hit a shot on the green and actually 3-putted. But that kind of was a bad tone for the rest of the back nine. But it was a great experience.
I don't know about golfers, but in the sports I play, particularly basketball, if we started cramping up and stuff, we just drank a bunch of pickle juice because do y'all ever do that in golf?
Well, when
it tastes, actually, I like the taste now. It tastes really good.
I love pickle juice. When you're under pressure, you're looking for an edge, whichever way you can get it. And out on tour now, they have massage therapists, they have trainers, they have nutritionists, and a lot of them are drinking pickle juice out there to stay hydrated.
You know, you see these shows, and I got a little inside because, obviously Smiley from LSU was from Birmingham, right? Good friends with that group, Justin Thomas from Alabama, Spieth and those guys. Everybody's well aware now of their big bromance.
It's almost a showmance now.
I mean, tell me about showmances. Who was your best bromance and who was your best showmance?
Well, I don't know. This tournament's unique, the Zurich Classic. You get a chance to play with your best friend on tour. Or you pair up with a guy who you think complements your game. And so there's going to be a lot of showmance out there this week.
Who would have been your guy that you would have been with if this tournament was around when you played back, a quarter century ago?
Well, I would have loved to play with Tommy Moore, who was my sort of my mentor and idol, even though we were close in age and we played together in high school. Grant Waite was a real dear friend of mine.
Tommy Moore is a legend.
Yeah, he was. And
I did plays with his sister Colleen.
Yeah.
And they were great.
Yeah, super family. And so, you'll see that this week. You'll see guys that played collegiately together. You've got some twins in the tournament this year. You've got an Irish team in Rory and Shane Lowry. That's going to be fun to watch.
Did the twins come over from Ireland, the Lingus twins? I mean, Lingus Airlines, I meant. Did they come over?
No. Air Lingus is the flight that you do take to Ireland.
Right, because you take it all the time.
Yeah.
Because for your, you have a course
I think they come on their own jets now, these guys.
Let's give Lester a shout out because Hogshead is you helped design it, and you're the minister of fun, right?
Well, I was there for the design process, but I was really just sort of reporting to an ownership group and kind of influencing how the property was developed. And then once we got it open, I brought in the Golf Channel to do a piece, and the on-air talent, Matt Janella, mistakenly, I was going to be director of fun, and he anointed me Minister of Fun.
Minister of Fun sounds even better.
It sounds like I'm some kind of royalty now in Ireland, right?
Sir Kelly Gibson.
Yes, I love it. So it kind of stuck, and I rolled with it, and they rolled the piece on the Golf Channel, and it was very well received. So this will be my 9th year of spending time in Ireland, and I love the people are fantastic. The golf courses, it's one of the bucket list properties in the world.
One of your fellow De La Salle grads is now a member out there, right? Hogg said, did that shake things up? It's like, because you have to have a smorgasbord of food out there. I mean, he doesn't eat as much now, but Lester Bitts loved to get a little spread of smorgasbord.
Boy, he doesn't miss a meal, does he?
No, these days he misses a lot. The guy lost 100 pounds. You got to love him.
Yeah, but he takes advantage of it when it's there. But yeah, he's a great member. I don't know how he got in, but he's in the club, and he's won a couple tournaments, which is a shocker.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's a good golfer, though.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a would you, did you? I mean,
Well, it would be great if they had an amateur division at the Zurich Classic, and you and him would pair together.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
I would bring him way down. Unless it was 97. That was the apex of my golf. Literally, I played a lot in the 90s. I started having kids late 90s, and that's when I kind of
would the best ball over and under be 90?
For me, or just us?
For y'all two together.
90 would be right.
Yeah.
For me alone, let's go 100. Right now, 100. My best was like in mid-high 80s. All right, so these days I'd be scared. There's great food out at the Zurich. That's one of my favorite things, man. If you're lucky enough to get one of those passes, and you can buy them now. I mean, 19th, 18th hole. You got the champions. You got obviously
there's some incredible opportunities if you're a foodie. It's the place to be this week.
Well, Acme, Tommy Stanovich. You know,
Tommy Stanovich is a tournament chairman this year.
He's doing a clam slam. He's doing it.
Yeah, the clam slam is up north, but they got oyster shucking down south.
But we're doing clams now this time too.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna have some fun with it.
You know, he's an amazing guy. The whole 4Kids Foundation does a first-class event, one of the best tournaments on tour, and of course Zurich being the title sponsor. The impact they have financially on the city of New Orleans and what they've done for this event over a period of what now 15, almost 20 years. I think they've been with the 4Kids Foundation, TPC Louisiana, Zurich Classic. It's a match made in heaven, and the players are starting to realize that the golf course is probably as good a shape as it's ever been, and the weather forecast looks amazing. So if you want to come out and see the best players in the world compete in a unique format, and then enjoy all the offerings of New Orleans food all in one place, this is the time to do it.
You know, I love that it's always after the Masters, and one of the great things about living in Atlanta for 11 of those 19 years, either as a fan in the beginning, and then because of my job, I got to go 11 of those times. And I got to talk to Rory McIlroy. I haven't been in a long time, though, which makes me sad, but Rory was a young player when last time I went, and I had some credentials, so I talked to him. You know what he told me? Because I said, I was trying to big time, and I'm like, hey, I know Kelly Gibson. I went to school with him. And I said, he goes, did he start the Kelly Blue Book? I said, and he said that Irish accent. It was so funny. I mean, did you though?
No, I had nothing to do with it. I know you asked me about that earlier. No,
the Kelly Blue Book. No, when you buy a car. That's not you.
That's not me. I'm not very good with cars.
I got to talk to Rory this week.
No, it wasn't me, but I know you've asked me that before. I have nothing to do with the Kelly Blue Book.
I have? All right, tell me what you know about the Tremont Sporting thing.
Well, it's a new company that's partnering up with our foundation. Good friend of mine, JD Carabino, is involved with it, and they're putting out a lot of great product into the golf space right now, so I'm excited about that relationship.
When you think of the word existential, like what do you think of most, first off your hand, as far as golf goes?
Well, I don't know. You know, golf's an amazing game. It takes you to places you wouldn't normally.
Is it existential, though?
Well, you know, define that for me.
I'm asking you. I'm the interviewer here. Okay, so when I say existential, I just think it's like all-encompassing. It's like everything.
Well, the game can get you mentally to so many different places. You know, it can build you up, tear you down. It can take you on rides that you've never thought you'd be on. And you have to have the fundamentals of being an athlete to play at the level that the tour players play. So you've had to train all these years, and you work on your body of work, and then existentially things happen, and that's when it gets a little bit crazy mentally. You know, you're dealing with outside influences. When you have success, you got to be able to handle success as well as handle adversity when you go through tough spots. And every player's going to have it. You know, Scotty Scheffler is on.
You took the words out of my mouth. I swear to goodness. I was going to say Scotty Scheffler is in a zone right now.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask you, what does that feel like? I know you've been in one before.
Well,
what does it feel like to be in that place?
Let's be clear. I haven't been.
Not winning 2 Masters in a row and stuff. No, but I mean, you know, you've been somewhere.
I was listening to Billy Horschel on the ride over today to come to your show.
What's his claim to fame here?
He's won a few times here.
The only guy that's won both the doubles and the single. You know, back in the old format when it was just one.
And he'll be a good person to watch this week. Probably one of the favorites because he's a type of player when he gets in the zone, he just rods it. He knows he's like a pitcher that gets on a hot streak and he's throwing. He's got total command of his game. He just won last week on there's 2 tournaments last week, and he won Punta Cana tournament, and Scheffler won it in Heritage. But those players, when they're hot, the game comes easy to them. Their missed shots are in spots where they chip in. They're not having adversity. There's no pressure. They feel relaxed. They're very calm. Everything's moving slowly towards them. It's not hectic. There's no distraction. So it's like getting in a bubble, and they see the shot before the shot happens.
Right.
They're not leaving themselves in bad spots. So when they leave the golf course, they're not blowing calories all over the place. They're not stressed out any kind of way, shape, or form. My whole career was stressed out.
Sure, man.
But I did have moments. I was gonna comment.
Yeah.
Billy was talking on the radio today about I think Scheffler's made X amount of cuts in a row, and Xander Schauffele's made 50 in a row. And he goes, and then you think about Tiger. Tiger made 150 in a row.
That's crazy.
I think the most I ever made in a row was 9.
That's amazing, too.
That was 9 weeks in a row I stayed out on the road.
You're the best in the world,
yes.
Kelly. I mean,
yes.
you made 9 in a row. That half you make it, half you don't in the weekend. Remarkable. And then, you know, when you were telling the story about how golf can get in your head, in your era, there's a guy that came to my mind first and foremost, David Duval, because literally that guy, a little bit of a schmegma there, but he is a guy that was on roll. People forget he and Tiger were like this for a few years, and then he just took a precipitous downfall. And it's all mental there, isn't it?
Well, it was crazy to watch. I mean, he had such command of his game, and then he rises to #1 player in the world, shoots 59 at the Bob Hope to win on Sunday, which that had never been done before. And then he decided that he was going to get into training. And you almost think that, and I don't remember exactly when he got hurt, but he hurt himself. He lost about 30 or 40 pounds, and it was really all good body work. Like he gained muscle, and he looked.
He got a lot of muscle, right?
He looked really thin, and he got into the whole training thing. And I think what it did was it took him away from his fundamentals of what he naturally felt as a golfer. Because his whole game was a little bit different. He had a strong grip, had a little bit unusual, club face was closed, all these things, but he knew where his golf ball was going when he was playing well.
Right.
And I think he won the British Open maybe after he started training, but then he got hurt. I believe he got hurt training. I'm not sure on all that, but he's a great guy. You know, I consider him a friend. I haven't seen him in forever, but he got to #1 in the world and then kind of just disappeared, and the game gets crazy when it happens.
Before I
like
let you
that.
go, I got to ask you this, because as a former golfer, last year it was a little more uncertain with LIV and obviously the PGA, and they've had kind of a marriage of sorts since then. What is your take on the whole relationship between the two, and where's it going to go?
Well, it'll be interesting. You know, this is a great week to kind of see what LIV's type of, you know, what they want to do is sort of what this format kind of lends itself to.
Yeah.
A little bit more fan friendly. There needs to be a marriage between the PGA Tour and LIV. They've got to get to the table. They've got to get together, get in a room, work this out, get the details refined, make everybody happy. There's a pathway for success for both of them, and they need to find a pathway where they can get together, because it's hurting the game.
Right.
And the people that are really upset about it the most are the fans. They're tired of hearing about it. The money's out there, you know, make it happen. They both have handled it poorly PR-wise.
Yeah.
The Tour and LIV have not done this the right way. I think the players are frustrated, you know. I just hope there's a little reparations in there for the guys who played back in the day, you know.
Right. Say, hey, yeah, come on, bring it back to us. Grandfather is in a little bit.
Yeah.
You're making $200 million.
Yeah.
I mean, how about?
No, but I think
the pioneers that paved the way, right?
I hope they get it worked out soon, and you know, and there's too many good players playing on the LIV Tour that need to be playing on the PGA Tour.
Well, Kelly, 8 years doing this show with a couple off, this is at least your 4th or 5th appearance. So I know you have a few of these Task Performance shirts. Do you ever wear them?
Oh, yeah.
They're soft.
That looks a little small for me, but I think I can fit in that one.
Is it? I got you the size you asked for. But all right, yeah, you look good here. This is a new color.
Thank you.
It's not, but it's called Iron Heather.
There you go.
Yeah,
it's Task.
So,
good local company.
Yes, it is. And you know what else is a good local company? You know your boy Desi Vega, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you do. Well, this is Mr. John's Steakhouse.
There you go.
A gift certificate. Archie Rodenkirk, you know him. He's the mate today. He will take care of you.
He's the best in the business.
He is the best.
He makes all the money for Desi.
He took care of me this weekend. I mean, I appreciate him very much. I don't get out much, but I got there this weekend, and it was delicious.
Yes, it's one of the best.
Kelly, I appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Scotty.
Hey, get out to the Zurich. I'm telling you, I've got a fishing trip this weekend, but I'm sandwiching the Zurich on Thursday and the Jazz Fest on Sunday, and then I'll be at Jazz Fest all next weekend. But I can't wait. It's a great weekend in New Orleans. Mix both of them up. They're both fantastic, and you got to treat yourself to both. I'm telling you right now, you won't be disappointed. Even if you don't like golf, it's just a blast to be out there and support our local events, right?
Yes.
All right, appreciate you, Kelly. Coming up next, we're going to a Jazz Fest guy. He's been in there many times, and to me, I call him this for the last decade. I've called him the best saxophone player in the city of New Orleans. I'm going to go ahead to the South. How about that? The best of the South. His name is James Martin. He's a local product. He's coming here, right here on Primetime Sports. See you then.
Rock and roll baby, let's go rock and roll at the city lane. All night, let's roll, let's rock and roll. Baby, do the rock and roll. At Mid-City Lanes, the home of rock and roll.
You've heard about rugby, the hard hits, the whole no pads thing, but rugby is more than that. It's this, a whole day, a whole culture.
Well, the fans bring the energy, so we better bring it too.
Every play, every match, for the city we call home.
This is rugby, and we are NOLA Gold.
Hey, welcome back to Primetime Sports, and you guys have been watching this for over 8 years. Remember, the first year, or you may not remember, we had a house band. I wanted to have like kind of a Tonight Show feel, you know? I really like a live audience. We can pull that one off. But no, we had a house band, and they were fantastic. In fact, I'll never forget when my friend Jerry Moran, who is a photographer, a good New Orleans musician photographer, he's well known in that circle, he said, how the heck did you get James Martin? We had Derek Freeman and James Martin, and then they had a revolving group for the third and fourth people. Tuba Steve was one of my favorites. They had a few others, but the fact is it was a blast. And we moved studios after a year to a place that was a little smaller, and we couldn't fit a band. And that was the saddest part of this show for me, because I really loved them. They had come up with a nice little opening song. And some call him James Martin, but others call him Chris Isaac, because that's what he looks like now. Chris Isaac is James Martin. No, James Martin, let's seriously, has gone from mostly known as a saxophonist, right? I mean, a guy that can play the heck out of the sax, and I mean that with every word I can say. In fact, Kelly Gibson was just here. I ran into him at a Kelly Gibson Big Foundation, a night of jazz function, and I get there, and my man James is on stage with Tuba Steve and some others, and it was wonderful. I mean, he's still got it, but he's also a singer, songwriter, and a great performer. When I say great performer, unbelievable. I'm telling you right now, if you ever see him on a headliner, you go check him out. Here he is right here. Again, welcome back, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
It's good to see you, dude.
Appreciate it. Good to
really
see you
is.
too.
And I should have pulled some pics from like when the house band, because I remember
so much fun.
It was fun, right?
Was.
I mean, and I know it gets tedious when you have to do it every week.
Yeah.
And that gets tough, but
I would play the night before till like 2 a.m. and show up exhausted.
And we would tape early back then.
There's Willie Rofe, you know.
Willie Rofe, right. Ricky Jackson, Deuce McAllister. I mean, we had the who's who, right?
Everyone, yeah.
And it was a blast. And I mean, y'all made it a big part. I remember sometimes in the beginning we were having fun. I'd come out with like the triangle or this, you know, and come out there as part of the little open.
Theme time, Primetime Sports.
Yeah.
Primetime Sports. Scott Alexander.
That's right. You would be the one yelling at Scott Alexander. That was funny, man. I miss it. Well, there's some rumors we might be able to do something again soon.
That'd be great.
Hopefully. And I'm proud of your success.
Thank you.
I've watched you for the last decade just blossom. I mean, you're already great. Mm-hmm. And then I didn't know in the beginning that you sang so well, performed so well. You know, because sometimes musicians that play an instrument kind of get lost into the band as an ensemble, right? But when you started doing that, and you already knew it yourself, but when you started doing that and seeing the reaction of the fans, like really, you know, loving what you're doing, what did that feel like for you?
Feels amazing because there's a lot of love and hard work that goes into it, and I've certainly have been developing myself as a songwriter and a singer, and as well as a saxophonist, which people know me more for over the years. And to get recognition and appreciation and get that love back, it feels incredible.
Well, you've been doing this a long time. I mean, you look younger than I think your age is. Which is not old either.
Yeah.
But you've been at it. You started at a young age. You went to Rummel. I should have started with that.
And NOCA.
And NOCA, yeah. Well, okay. My niece was doing leads and plays for 4 years at NOCA.
Yeah, it was great.
So that's a great experience as well. And also a Loyola grad, which their music school is well renowned, right?
Yes. It was great, especially NOCA. That really transformed my career and myself as a young. You know, I think I started senior year. Started playing with Trombone Shorty, John Baptiste. We were in bands at the time.
Yeah, got shots with Trombone Shorty there.
Playing every Sunday night at the Maple Leaf
John Baptiste.
to nobody.
I mean, these guys are all Well, I mean, John Batista's gone. Well,
he's huge. He's one of the biggest artists in the world now. Yeah.
From Troy, John Batista. Did you know? Because I feel you're the same kind of caliber guy. I mean, with what you do. Did you know that those guys were going to be great? I mean, that's a legend right there. But the other guys were going to be that great? I mean, like. I mean, we're talking about world renowned now.
Yeah, I mean, you could kind of feel it.
Right.
We were just a bunch of kids having fun, and I guess we still are to an extent. But you could definitely feel that there was something special there. Absolutely.
Well, I'm gonna go back to Derek real quick, because Derek, he's the one that had the idea. We were talking watching a Saints game. I got to know him because somebody, I think our friend Whistle Monster, Leroy, was saying, hey, there's a lot of musicians that watch, you know, I was, at the time I was doing radio because I just moved back, listen to it, you know, like Aaron Wilkinson from Honey Island Swamp Band, and, you know, and obviously Derek and maybe some others. And so I watched the game and I said, hey, I'm thinking about doing a TV show. I was invited to do one at WLAE, and he goes, and we're talking, I was thinking about a house band. He goes, I'd like to do it. And that's how it started. He goes, and that's how I heard about you first. But y'all came back to my last show. In fact, I wanted to, when the show came back, this was 2 years ago. This was May 24th of 2022. My show had been off the air for 2 years, and this was the second show back. And I said, I wanted to bring you guys back because y'all were so instrumental to the beginning of the show, and it meant a lot to me. You put a lot of work into what you did, and I didn't want it to go unrecognized because I was very grateful, and I still am.
Oh, likewise. It's yeah, we feel the same way.
Well, I'm going to say this. You have an album coming out. You've had several, correct? I mean, so I want you to take people back and talk about like how many albums you have and the process, and then you have a new one out, and how are you going to promote that?
Yeah, so this is actually my 4th album as a solo artist, and I feel like definitely you could see the progression throughout the years. The first one was in 2012, which seems like an eternity ago now.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, and then I had one in 2017, 2019, a couple with Derek Freeman with Soul Brass Band, and then this one kind of a little long overdue. 5 years in the music industry is kind of a long time, but with the COVID and everything, it kind of years and time kind of changes and distorts, absolutely. But I've been writing with other artists, Derek included. I have a few songs on Shamar Allen's recent record.
Okay.
And so I've been kind of, writing a lot and really developing my music myself. And so the way I look at my goal for this record was to create songs and produce the material to make it sound like if Mark Ronson and Alan Toussaint did an album together. So classically modern and definitely
cool,
danceable.
Dude. Very cool. We all know Ronson's blowing up. I mean, he seems to be getting awards all the time now.
Yeah, Amy Winehouse, Bruno Mars, and then Alan Toussaint with that
what a great mix.
Sound.
What a great mix.
That's the goal.
Fortunately, a lot of these greats have passed in different ways. Toussaint with age, Amy Winehouse, others. But those are sounds I love. Lounge sound, mixed with some nice, jazzy stuff too. And what's the pensive look here? Because I like it. I dig it. Are you doing an Edward Hopper a painting reincarnation?
I really love the colors in this photo. And it was, I did a photo shoot recently at the Chloe, great hotel with a great photographer, Katie Sakura. And that was one of the last shots in the whole thing. And I was just like, there's something about this corner. Let me go sit in there. So I was a little, maybe pensive, but probably just hungry and tired.
It's definitely the first word I thought of in the thinker. And then I'm thinking, that could be you after a long, set, and you're just trying to relax at the Chloe, maybe have a daiquiri or whatever, not daiquiri, a martini or an old fashioned or whatever you drink. Maybe it could be milk, I don't know. But the fact is, you just look like, hey man, I'm thinking about what I just did.
Reflective,
and I'm reflecting, right.
Yeah.
Do you reflect?
Absolutely, a lot.
Okay, let's dig into that. What do you reflect about when you reflect?
Let's reflect about that.
Yeah, let's reflect on your reflections. What's from here mean?
Well, so that's a great question. I think it means a lot to me. It means I think at first people will think, well, he's from New Orleans, so it means from New Orleans, but I really see this album as a catalyst in my career, also kind of a statement record. And so I think musically, I'm going to look back in 10 years, 20 years, reflect, and think, okay, this is really where it started. This is really where I got into my own and started creating the sounds and the music and collaborating with the people that I want to. So it's from here, we're moving from here. Where do we go from here? From here. Also from New Orleans.
I love it. I love it.
It really, as an artist, a lot of what we do comes from the heart. So it also is from here.
You've played all around the world, and I know that. And I know when you go other places, and I've lived several other places for 3 decades, really. But there's something about telling people you're from New Orleans. Like when you play overseas, I know y'all play Europe a bunch. You played all over the country. You played other countries as well. What is it like when you tell people you're from New Orleans? A lot of them may know when they come see you before they come, they know you're from New Orleans, but when you're out on the street maybe in Helsinki or wherever you may be, hey, and he talks to somebody, I'm from New Orleans. It's a positive reaction generally.
Absolutely. Everywhere you go. In fact, some of these international festivals in Switzerland and Denmark, Israel, all over the world are even New Orleans centered, or New Orleans focused. They're featuring European bands that play New Orleans music. They're bringing in all kinds of New Orleans artists. So we go over there, and it feels good, because here, there's thousands and thousands of musicians playing it, but when we go over there, they're like, oh my God, a piece of New Orleans is here.
They love it.
Yeah.
They love it. I remember living over for several months, and I'm like thinking, if I saw a New Orleans band, I'd been like all over it, because for one of the first things people would say when I'm overseas, or anywhere really, they like New Orleans. The music and food, those are the first two things.
Right, it's world renowned. It really
world
is.
renowned, immediate things. And music overseas more first. That's what they'll say. In the country, sometimes food's equal, but music is the thing about New Orleans. So when you say from here, that means a lot to me as a New Orleanian that's left, because I'm proud to be from here, right?
Yeah, me too.
And you are as well. This hat right here in the front, y'all might wonder why I have that. That's a Jazz Fest logo, and it might not come out clearly, but that's what that is. This man's been playing the Jazz Fest, and I'm going to let you take the floor here. How long you've been playing, and give me some of your experiences, because I know it's been a long time. And you might belie your age now, because you look younger than you might be, because when we say you take it. How many times you played?
I don't know.
It's a couple decades at least,
I would have to go back and tally it, and even then I'd probably get it wrong. But I've played multiple times with multiple bands. My first one, though, was in 2002. So 22 years ago.
23 Fest ago.
Yes.
22 years, yeah.
And then there was a few years in there, like COVID, COVID year, and also Katrina, where it didn't happen. But pretty much every year since then, I've been at the Jazz Fest with my saxophone up on stage doing it.
I've seen you at least a half dozen times.
With Trombone Shorty, Flow Tribe, Ernie Vincent, Soul Brass Band, my own band, and many more, really.
Soul Brass is warming my heart, because y'all started that right around the time y'all were on the show. And I remember y'all gave me soul shirts just like that.
Yeah.
But the problem is Derek must have thought I was much skinnier than I was, because they were like halter tops. They're very tight. And even if I lost like 30, they would not fit me. But I did have them around. And but I love the Soul Brass Band. And if y'all still getting it done?
Yes. Yeah, we are.
Y'all played for my aunt's funeral. I don't know if you remember this.
We
did. It was like you did a second line. And that was wonderful. I mean, I'll never forget it. That was Aunt Helen, who was like a big Irish parade person and loved to entertain. And we still talk about that at the Lake Lawn Cemetery. It was a wonderful experience. Hey, I'm so proud of what you're doing. Tell people about this new album and what they can do to promote and stuff.
Yes, so the first single, Love a la Mode, is currently streaming on all platforms, also purchasable.
Love a la Mode.
Love a la Mode, yeah.
Sounds like a Dean Martin album. All right.
Well, it's funky. It's more of the Bruno Mars.
Okay, I like it.
Tilt.
You are a lot like Bruno Mars these days, for real. No, you do a lot of that.
Singing, I'm not quite a dancer, but I got a two-step, right?
Not many people can dance like him. All right, don't tell yourself.
So important dates. The full record comes out May 3rd, which is next Friday. Again, all streaming platforms. Also purchasable on Bandcamp via my website. Also Apple Music. We're promoting a big album release party on May 1st. And if you go to my website, jamesmartinmusic.com, you can RSVP. We only have a few spots left. I know. I'm hoping you'll come.
I'm going, man. I'm going next week.
I invited Kelly. I invited Whistle Monster, so hopefully, we got a scene
Kelly
going.
Gibson.
Yeah, right.
Okay, good. I thought of another Kelly. I'm like, hello.
The Kelly we saw today.
Right.
And then this Saturday, April 27th, we're playing at a DBA after Jazz Fest show with my band.
Oh,
10
really?
p.m.
Okay. When
it's
is
gonna
that
be a lot of fun. 10 p.m. This Saturday, the 27th.
I'll be out of town. Okay, this Saturday. Okay.
At DBA.
If you have an after show next week, let me know.
Yeah.
Hey, a good close friend in Colorado gave me the idea to have my musicians sign this because, we usually have all the balls out here and they got tons of signatures. And I did have musicians, including yourself, sign the Saints ball and stuff, but it gets lost in the translation. So we're doing this now. The first ones that signed this were Al Carnival Tom Johnson. Not a bad one. That's one of my favorite, if not my favorite,
Legend.
Mardi Gras song.
Yeah.
Legend. Big Chief Monk Boudreaux, Paul
Legend.
Sanchez, Rockin'
Legend.
Doopsie, E.T., and our boy Troy's cousin, Glenn David Andrews.
Glenn, yeah.
That's who that was right there.
Ah, yeah.
Glenn David. And,
I was in his band for a while.
yeah, I know. Glenn's doing great.
He is.
He's come around, I know. So here you go.
Yeah, I forgot.
James
I played
Martin.
the Jazz Fest with Glenn, too. So there you go.
I can't be more thankful to have you
Yeah.
on. Tell Derek Freeman I said hello. I'm
I
very
will.
grateful, like I said to both you guys.
Yeah, we feel the same way. Thank you.
All right, brother. That right here, we also give gifts, as you know. And I gave your friend Kelly Gibson the same color. It's called Iron Heather. And I love it. I love it. It's not quite black, because I gave you a black last time, and it's not quite the lighter gray.
I still wear it. It's a great shirt.
You like it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Nice and
then I'll give you another
stretchable.
one.
Yeah.
Task performance. I don't ever tell these people what to say. I just make it organic. And I got to tell you, there's nobody that says, I don't really like that shirt.
No, it's
It's
great.
almost everybody. So
Flexible.
Desi Vega and Paul Verisco own Mr. John's Steakhouse. Great guys. And Archie Rodenkirk is the key to success in there. He is the maitre d'. Here's a gift card to get a steak right there on St. Charles Avenue in the Garden District, all right?
Yeah, you're right.
That's James Martin. Yeah, you right.
Thanks
Representing the Raiders of Rummel, the Loyola Wolf Pack, and a lot of other music plays throughout. Noka is a great spot. That's New Orleans Center for Creative. Is that correct?
Creative
and Arts, right.
Yep.
There you go. Harry Connick. I'm going to give my niece a little shout out. How about that, Sarah Jackson? All right, we're coming back. We're going to do the next thing for the week, because we talked about the Zurich, we talked about the Jazz Fest, and we talked about the NBA playoffs and the Open. But guess what we're going to talk about right now? The draft. Tulane football, LSU football. We have a Tulane player here. It's been a tradition, and I'll talk about that in a second. But we have a Tulane player getting drafted this weekend, and his name is Jha'Quan Jackson. He's going to be right here on Primetime Sports. Stay tuned. Hey, welcome back to Primetime Sports. In just 2 days, the NFL draft begins. I cannot wait. It goes Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's going to be a fun time. And listen, the Saints, they have a couple picks early and a lot of them late. But we also have the Tulane and LSU guys. And every year we've done this. We've brought players in the draft. Last year was Tyjae Spears. There have been so many of them. Debo Jones, of course, Duke Riley, Tanzel Smart, lots of great Tulane players, Perry Nickerson. And the list goes on and on. Even guys that maybe weren't drafted, like a Ryan Griffin, who played in the NFL for a long time, or a Cairo Santos, those dudes. Tulane's got a ton of guys that have been in the NFL. A lot of them playing now, and a lot of them that have played in the past. I think people forget that, even in the down years. But now that the things are happening in Tulane, you're going to see more and more and more green waivers in the NFL. And the guy sitting next to me is certainly going to be one of them. He's been blowing up through his entire career. He made the famous 87-yard touchdown catch in the Cotton Bowl against USC that helped them upset a team that was a whisker away from going to the college football playoff. That's how good they were. And they had the Heisman Trophy winner, but Tulane knocked them down. And a big reason was this guy right here named Jha'Quan Jackson, wide receiver. How you doing, my friend?
How you doing, man? Thank you
so
for having
me.
me.
So good to see you, man.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm honored to have you. I remember you said something in a text. I'm like, hey, I'm excited. I've been following your career since you were at Hahnville High School. And now when you were like starting football, maybe sophomore year, maybe you were a freshman, I don't know, when you start playing varsity, did you have an inkling one day that this would be the week of the draft and you'd be in it?
Nah, I never thought about it. You know, just growing up, I was just playing football just to play football. You know.
You loved it?
Yeah, I loved it. You know,
Yeah.
I never thought about playing in college until the end of my junior year. You know, once I started getting the offers, and I'm like, oh crap, I can do this. You know, so I started to take it serious and started to learn the ins and outs and like the business part of football in the next level. You know, just. That's crazy right there.
I got shots you at home, but I want to ask you a question. Because I've shot you. You're number 4 and 7?
No.
You never wore 7? Don't throw 7s up.
Nah.
Who was 7?
That was Puka.
Oh, that was. Oh, God, I did his games at Kansas.
Yeah.
I did the game. He got the record 300-something yards against Oklahoma.
Yep.
Okay, so that was Puka. But now Puka was a quarterback too, right, at one point?
Well, he played sometimes, you know.
And then he was running back in college. But you were a quarterback as well, right?
Yes, sir.
That's why I wanted to ask you. That's why I thought you had a number change. So you played with Puka Williams.
Yes, sir.
And what a dynamite player he was. But what a 1-2 combo y'all had.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, and then Salta Famaggio was your coach?
Yes, sir.
That's another legend. I love him.
Yeah.
But talk about your progression going from, I know you've answered this probably a million times, but going from quarterback to wide receiver and how that helped you become a good receiver in college level and now in the NFL.
You know, as a freshman at Hornville High School, I played receiver. We had the quarterback Austin Perry, and OC was Lester Ricard Jr.
Lester.
And went into my sophomore year. That's when I started playing more as a varsity, as receiver, started making more plays. And then once it got to my junior year, didn't have no quarterback. You know, Austin had left and went to UL to play baseball. And then Coach Salter put me in the office and said, you want to play quarterback? You know, I said, I'd do anything for the team. Because that's the type of guy that I am. You know? I'm just trying to win. It's we over me, you know. That's the type of guy I am, and no matter where I go, that's still gonna be me. So the biggest thing was just learning how to read the defense and see the different things. We was a 75% run, you know, and the rest was throw the ball, and we batted through the ball because we had a 1-2 knockout punch with Puka in the backfield and me. So we ran the kind of quarterback counter, power flow, lead option, and read option, you know, a little bit of RPOs, you know. We made it to the state championship and didn't win, so it was kind of heartbreaking to not win.
Oh, I remember in the Dome.
Yes, sir.
That was a big one. I forgot about that one. Hey, I gotta ask you. And that's it right there. That was in the Dome right there. You scored then.
Yeah.
Sweet. That's got to be a good feeling. Win or lose, you want to win, but still getting a touchdown in the Superdome. I mean, come on. And you got a big one in the Dome up in the Jerry Dome, we like to call it, the Jerry World.
Yep.
In Dallas at the Cotton Bowl,
Yep.
and that's the end of it. But you had a spectacular run. And I got to just take you back because, listen, I know when you line up against somebody, you always feel you're going to win. And trust me, I bet on you guys, and you came through for me. But the bottom line is, I thought you were going to win. And you got down, but y'all never quit.
Yep.
But talk about that run because, I mean, I just remember jumping up in my chair. I had my son here, Dickie over here, and we were just going nuts. Talk about that play and the result of it and then the game in general.
Just going back to that play, you know, just an honor to be in Jerry World, just playing in the NFL stadium for the second time, you know, but not that fascinated with the other stadium that I played in. But the Jerry World was just amazing. Just coming
It's the most crazy stadium you've ever seen.
Coming out the tunnel and just
beautiful.
seeing the lights and how much fans we had came from New Orleans, Louisiana, from all over the world. But just going back to that play, you know, that week I was sick the whole week, so I didn't practice that play. So I wasn't supposed to run that play.
Oh my goodness!
So
okay, tell me about it.
Coach put me in the game, and when I looked back then, looked to the sideline to see the signal and the call, it was kind of like I looked down at my play call sheet, and I looked back up to look back at the sideline and say, "You sure you want me to run this?" I didn't practice it, but I know how to run it. Like I know how to run it.
I had no idea about this.
I know how to run it, so it's not nothing.
Well, tell us what it was.
So it was an option route.
Right.
You could break in or out or sit it down versus different coverages. So
he's reading he's reading the defense, and that's you're going. That's why you have to be on the same page.
So
okay.
It was a man zone read. You know, we got two concepts. We got a man to one side and got a zone read to the other side, and whatever the coverage was. It's been a while, so I can't remember right now. But it was kind of like a crazy kind of cover two with I think cover two.
You're playing against a lot of
boundary.
NFL players. I mean, it's not like this team. It's not like you're playing against a Division II type team or even a regular conference team.
Yeah.
This was USC, and I know their defense wasn't great that year, but they still have tons of great athletes. And when you got in the open field, did you just say, "Hey, I'm done. I got this"? I mean, were you ever fearful about being caught on an angle or something?
Oh no, just as I said, once I looked to the sideline and got to on the line and it was good and the play clock was going down, I said, let's do it. You know, I've been playing football all my life. You know, just playing like when you were a little kid, just like slant till you can't, slant till you can't. That was in my head. And, you know, once I slanted and turned, I saw Pratt was cocked back to throw it, and I just caught it. And I knew one thing is either it's getting north and south. You know, I got to the sideline and I had unbelievable block from by Lawrence Keys, the third. You
Lawrence
know,
Keys, you're right.
Without that block, you know, I probably would never score, you know, but I thank him each and every day for making that block, you know. It's all about the team, and that was the big thing about this year and just that game, you know. It told you the whole thing about the whole team, that it was about the brotherhood. It wasn't about me, you know. It was just about everybody and how can I help the guy to the left or the right of me, you know.
I know in my lifetime, and I can't talk about, you know, in the 60s and before, but my lifetime, to me, I know LSU, I mean, Tulane went undefeated in 1998, right?
Yep.
But I don't think there was a game that was like, oh my God, this is a game we'll remember. The Liberty Bowl, the one that made it, kept them undefeated maybe. But as a young kid, Tulane had lost to LSU 25 straight times. And then they beat them 14-0 in 1973. And I just remember it was 80,000 seat stadium that had 84,000 people in it. That's how crazy packed it was. That's the old Sugar Bowl Stadium.
Yeah.
That's where the Saints used to play before the Dome. And that was sick. This game, then you won the championship, right, in Ullman Stadium. You won the conference championship against Central Florida. That, to me, became equal. Well, then this game a month later in Jerry World, that became to me the greatest win in Tulane history because it changed so many things about the perception of Tulane, right? And you are a huge part of it. That's what I'm saying. You made as big a play as there was in the biggest game in Tulane history. And I don't think I'm candy coated. I think most of the Tulane audience a lot of times you have recency bias. Like I'm saying it's great because it just happened. No, I'm saying it because this is the greatest play in Tulane history. When you think about the magnitude of it, and now, you know, Fritz has given the mantle over to John Summerall, the coach, and he's able to recruit these big quarterbacks from Oregon. He's able to recruit this wide receiver who went to USC, another one that went to Alabama.
Yep.
It's all, a lot of this is because of that groundwork that y'all set.
Yeah, yes, sir.
I mean, what does that feel like to you? Because, I mean, you are part of this thing that's growing and mushrooming very, very largely right now.
It feels amazing, you know, just being from outside of New Orleans, 15 minutes away in Luling, Louisiana, just going down the road and play for Tulane and just playing for the Uptown and New Orleans and for the fans, you know, we got the Greenbackers, who's
they're fun.
A great
the club,
a great club to watch us and just be around and interact with them. You know, you got other fans that you got the Green Wave man, you know, he always at every game. You got a lot of people, you know, once you get older, you see how much people really love Tulane, and you could tell, like when I said, when we came out that tunnel and looked to our left and saw all them people out there,
it's
just
amazing.
think it just
the
turned
crowd at the
head.
Cotton Bowl?
Yes, sir.
What'd that make you feel like? Because you saw what Tulane could be at that moment, right?
Yes, sir. You know, there was some times, you know, you have some doubts from the past where, you know, a lot of fans didn't travel all over, but you can tell after that game, and that's another reason why our heads didn't ever go down, because, you know, we had a crowd like more, I'll say more than USC on our side, and, you know, after the game, you could just see everybody jumping into the pond, a little coin thing. It was just amazing.
It was crazy. The celebration.
Still talk to the day, you know.
Take you back right there. I mean, and let me go and say this: y'all aren't a one-year wonder. Like y'all felt again. Y'all lost in the championship game, but you got there a second time. You had injuries, and there's reasons why SMU won that game. I'm not taking anything away from them. That was the school you chose originally.
Yeah.
The SMU Mustangs.
Yep.
But you decided to come to Tulane and make your own mark here. But as far as that game, what was that feeling like in that picture that I just saw?
You know, feel like I was on top of the world. Just as I stated that we lost in the championship when I was in high school, at Hornville High School. So for me, just being able to win the championship at Tulane on a collegiate level and then going to the Cotton Bowl and winning that, just felt like I couldn't be touched. Our whole team couldn't be touched. Nobody couldn't touch us, you know. But the biggest thing was we had to believe, you know. It was a player-led team, you know. The coaches gave us the blueprint, and we had to go out there and execute it. So, and that's what we did all year, you know.
You had a great college career, and now you're having a great post career. I'm going to mention two things. I want you to get your take on both. The Senior Bowl, you practice. You know, like I said, I was an agent. I talked to a lot of my friends that are still agents, and they all were like, man, this guy. Because I always ask about the Tulane and LSU guys, and I said this off camera to you, but the fact is draft stock rising. That's exactly what they would say to me. And I'm like, why? They go, he's doing everything right. He's doing everything right. interviews. I mean, just the way he handles himself, the way he's on the field. A lot of people, you know, Tulane was a running program for a long time, right? So you didn't get a chance to have those big stats until recent years. And that's not really fair. I love that shot. That's one of my favorite shots of any Tulane. Yeah. Like you're up there. That shows you got some ups, unless that's Photoshop.
Nah, it's, I think that's Will Waters who pushed me. Yeah, he pushed me up.
Oh, he put, well, I'm just saying you jumped that high. That was great. I love it. Okay, now I see that. Yeah. All right, but still, you look like you're jumping high. But the fact is, you know, when you take away your career at Tulane and you look at what's happened for you in the Senior Bowl and all the good press you got, and then you went to the Combine, talk about those two experiences, because you got invited to the NFL Combine and you ran a 4.4. I mean, come on, that's awesome. And then you showed well in the interviews, right?
Yes, sir. Just going back to that, you know, I missed 4 games at the end of the season with an ankle injury, and just leading up to going to train in Fort Lauderdale XPE with Matt Gates and Tony Villano.
I know the group.
So some great trainers. You know, I got reference confirmation from the best of the best, Kurt Hester, strength coach from Tulane, who's at Houston now. You know, just trying to pick out where I wanted to train at, and how I started a little bit late because I still had the ankle injury and wasn't full go like 3 weeks later, and then met with a couple of doctors and got an MRI. I wanted to make sure everything was straight. That was in Fort Lauderdale.
What time of the year was that? Before the Senior Bowl?
It was before the Senior Bowl.
Right.
So leading up to that, I wasn't healthy. You know?
You weren't able to train and get ready for that.
Everything I was doing was straight linear. I didn't train for cutting or nothing. So my first time cutting was at Senior Bowl.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there like, and I was kind of scared.
You were scared, right?
And then once I got out there and like start moving and stuff, I was like, man, I got myself back. You know, I wasn't 100%, but I was like 85%. But I was good enough to go out there and do my thing. And then it was just amazing, just going out there and just being with Pratt as my roommate. You know, we had the flight there to the Senior Bowl.
Oh, I didn't know he was your roommate.
Learning the playbook.
And Tajay before him, man.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Just learning the playbook and just having an opportunity to get a jump ahead, because he had the playbook because he was the quarterback. They all got the playbooks, but we was on the same plane. So on the whole plane ride, he was sleeping. I'm just jotting down the notes and just learning the offense. And once I got down there, you know, we got the install about 1 o'clock at night, and it just went on from there. But just seeing like different guys from different colleges and going out there and just seeing how they was taught and how their organization was, and just getting to know each other. You know, you get to see all the quarterbacks from Spencer Rattler to Joe Milton to
all
Carla
different
Bradley,
styles,
you know,
right?
And just being with different people.
You know, I can see why you do well in the interviews. It's obvious. I mean, you're very approachable. You're very conversational. And you're fun to be around. Yeah. And the fact is, I can tell they look for guys that are not only great on the field, but they're going to be great in the locker room. Yeah. Because you can be talented, but if you're going to be a distraction in whichever way, and you're the opposite of that. Right. I got to tell you, Tajay, your buddy, your close friend, was in this chair a year ago, and now you've watched what he's done, and his season kept getting better and better in the NFL. That's y'all, partying after the Cotton Bowl, right? I love the hat. Tajay's wearing the cowboy hat, and your hat looks like a little bit like Pharrell. Yeah. But the fact is have you followed in his career and say, hey man, I could be the next guy doing something similar?
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, I talk to him each and every day. I try not to bother him too much. Yeah. But it gets to the point where I tell him that, you know, you give me advice. You know, when I was at the Senior Bowl, he said, man, you got this, man, bro. Just go out there and just do what you've been doing all your life. And we talk each and every day and just about how you're doing and what can we do. You know, we talk about the future to investments and all of that. So just have a brother from another mother.
What a great brother to have, right?
Do, you know, and he's passionate about the game. You know, the thing about him is just when I ain't doing something right, he on my butt. When he's not doing something right, just get on his butt, you know.
Y'all have the same kind of boyish enthusiasm. I mean that in the best possible way. I mean, it's like, I remember I had him on twice, and he was just so, like, you know, he's done some great things by this point, and he was just so happy to be playing part of Tulane football and going to the next level, and you just see he was just a happy person. Yeah. And I feel the same way about you. We have a couple things. I'm gonna up this another $50 because this is not enough, because this is you're getting drafted. Shays de la Shays. Yeah. And it's right there on Maple Street between Carrollton and Broadway.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And that's my man Evan Hayes who owns that. Yes, and I'm gonna get you this week. I'm gonna hook up with Jason. This is not the Tulane green exactly, but this is a guy that is a Tulane alumni that started this company. Feel how soft that is. That's Task Performance. Yeah. That's yours, man.
Thank you.
You like it?
Thank you.
All right. This is a guy we're going to check out this weekend. You're going to see him on the NFL level. There ain't no doubt about it. Jha'Quan Jackson, what a great name. J-H-A''Quan. And y'all know how to spell Jackson. That's my family name, too. Okay. I got my sister's a Jackson. Yep. But thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, man.
And we're going to sign this helmet, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You're on it. I got you a green one because all the green ones are post-COVID. All the black ones are pre-COVID. So there you go. Jha'Quan Jackson, thank you so much. And I want to thank everybody here. What a fun show, because this is a little unique. I tell you, this is one of the best weeks of the year, if not the best. Jazz Fest, the NFL Draft, the Pelicans in the playoffs, and, of course, the Zurich Classic. Get out and enjoy all that. William Hill does an amazing job right here. Logan Graffia, Alex Chacon. We got Danielle Wick. And, of course, Jim and Ron. I want to thank everybody here and my man Jason for bringing the Tulane athletes. I appreciate you, Jason, and we'll come back next week. Hey, cross your fingers. I'm supposed to have Brian Kelly. He's going to the draft to support his players this week, Jaden Daniels and all the group. But he is planning on coming next week, and we got some star-studded stuff coming right here on Primetime Sports.
Selling an unwanted vehicle can be a hassle, but donating it to public media couldn't be easier. All you need is the title, and we'll take care of the rest. For more information or to schedule a pickup, call our toll-free number or visit us online.
Events around the world may negatively impact our mental health. If you or a loved one is experiencing severe anxiety, depression, or even thoughts of suicide, then know that 988, the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, is now available. To talk with a call specialist, call or text 988.
Hey, I'm Keith Spira from NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune. My guest this week on Let's Talk with Keith Spira is the one and only Cyril Neville. Cyril, thank you for being here. I noticed you did not wear the open shirt with the crop tie in it that you used to wear back in the day today.
No, that ended after our first trip to San Francisco.
Okay, well, maybe we'll save that story for later. Tune in this week on Let's Talk with me and Cyril Neville.
You're watching WLAE, New Orleans Public Television.